This is our third training ride for the Grand Tour Double Century. We're covering 140 miles, and if it goes well, it'll be our last training ride. Right now, we're passing Anaheim's train station. It's really cool at night. It's all lit up and pretty. Now we're approaching the Anaheim Angels Stadium, where the Angels baseball team plays. If you ride through here about 9 o'clock in the evening, you can often see the firework display at Disneyland. Although they recently accidentally set fire to one of their dragons, so I'm not sure if they're doing that right now. We've slowly been increasing the lengths of our rides, from 50 to 70 to 100 and now 140. Each ride we've learned something and applied it to the next ride. I think we've got everything dialed in pretty well, but ask me again at the end of the ride. So which trails do we want to connect?
So the trail right here ends on this side.
Uh-huh.
But if you gave me a mile more of paved trail right there, I can give you 40 more miles east of trails. So San Diego Creek.
Is that
40
right?
more miles. So you connect the OC loop.
Totally behind you
You
guys.
just need 10. You just need a mile
Isn't that
connected.
frustrating when they do that? It's so frustrating.
Exactly.
Eyes on the road, Edgar. Lunch was at the Cremo with toasted ham and brie baguettes. Headed inland on the San Gabriel bike trail, we had about 35 miles to ride until our turnaround. We had a pretty good tailwind, which is not necessarily a good thing on an out and back. Here we are on top of Santa Fe Dam. These pirates are going to a Renaissance fair. It was also getting very warm. So the turnaround's at a 7-Eleven at mile 70. It's 90 degrees Fahrenheit, and we're looking forward to a 35-mile headwind on the way back. It's important we load up with calories because that headwind's going to be brutal. 7-Eleven has recently started carrying PBJ sandwiches, which is great. And I add some Gatorade to the water in my water bottles, which will give me some calories for the way back. So as expected, we had 35 miles of moderate headwind on the way back. The important thing here is, as expected. When adversity catches you by surprise, it's more difficult to handle. If you can figure out where the difficult bits are going to be ahead of time, it's easier to mitigate them. But of course, overcoming unexpected problems is also a major part of randonneuring. I won't lie, it was nice to get back to the coast and out of that headwind. We had the choice of eating 1 mile up the road or 5 miles up the road. We had done a good job of loading up at the 7-Eleven, so we decided to push through the extra 5 miles. There was a Led Zeppelin tribute band playing. They were great. Spending quality time off the bike is an often underestimated aspect of long-distance riding. If you find yourself up against the clock, hustling through the stops is very important. But if you find yourself losing motivation, then having a good time at the stops can really help. This is one of our good time stops. Empanadas, cheese quesadillas at the beach with live music. What's not to love? Not only that, but because we pushed longer on the last stretch, we only have 30 miles to go.
Hey, you guys can get a tandem.
Guess which way we're turning next? Yes, it's left. We're gonna have a tailwind.
Oh, I hate to leave that place.
So for the last 22 miles, we had a 15-mile-an-hour tailwind. Edgar and I were both feeling the miles, so that's a great way to finish a ride. We are at the end of the ride. 141 miles, 2,800 feet of climbing. Everyone's feeling pretty good and ready to ride a double century. And that's what this was all about.